Part 2 of Get to Know Me Better. If you haven't watched part 1, please go watch part 1 because you won't understand where the story started. Now, part 2 is when I started working, guys. I am an IT girl. The salary is good. Even for my first salary, I think my salary was around 5,000, which was so much for me. And funny enough, I had this dream that all I want is just a car with I can open. You know the one where you press your car keys and then it goes dit. That's all I wanted. And the second thing that I wanted was to carry my laptop, going to a taxi station or going to a train or whatever mode of transport I was using at that time. It was just a dream for me to have a laptop so that people can see, now she's working and she's working a job where she can carry a laptop. And we were so proud and happy every time we carried our laptop. So we got to Sybase after our learnership. And at Sybase, they gave us laptops. We were so happy, guys. And our first salary was 5,000 Rand. We were so happy saying, we're earning a lot. I mean, think about it. This is my first salary years ago after learnership. I worked there for 2 years as a support engineer. So all we did there was just to support different companies who would come and buy softwares in that company. So that company sold softwares like Sybase, and then they had, I think, Power Builder, which is a reporting software, and then Sybase was a database, and they will sell these projects, these softwares, and then I was just supporting that. So for each and every company that bought these softwares, they will call whenever they experience problems, and I would help them with that. So we were just doing that daily. We would get support requests, and then sometimes we would be given small projects or attend training because it was also a training center. So I would have all these certificates for different softwares. I just attended as much as I can, and which was good for me. But then I wasn't a developer. The mission in IT is you want to be a developer. You can be a support engineer, but then you also want to be a developer because that's where the money is. My mission was I want to be a developer. So I only worked there 2.5 years, and then I started looking for something. And also, I just wanted to just be a developer and develop projects because most of my peers who were also working, they were just developers in other companies, especially those people that we did learnership together. They were just earning even more than what we were earning. And then I started looking for a job. Lucky enough for me, I didn't need to look further. I found a job at Harmony Gold Mine. So for those of you wouldn't connect, selling softwares, and now you are working at a mine as a developer. But then the softwares that I was selling there, Harmony Gold Mine was one of the company that bought software. They were using Sybase, and then they were using other tools to do their development. So that's why I was able to get a job there. I worked there only for 8 months, guys. Harmony Gold Mine was quiet, full of men, boring. No, there were no aircon. The offices were old, and you would just go there and sit and work and then meet with these old men who do not want to retire. And we've been there for years and years, and it was just boring. I mean, even the emails, guys, you would get emails saying 350 something cases of something. And then one day I asked, what are these cases? And then they said is people would die underground, guys. And then I was just so depressed even more, guys. I decided, I do not want to work here anymore. And the distances were for me to leave Tembisa, which is the other side of Olifantsfontein, to drive to Harmony Gold Mine, which is somewhere around Roodepoort. It was just far for me. Krugersdorp area was just so far for me, and I used to drive daily. It was like 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes for me to get to work, and I was just so tired of driving, even though I was now driving my red Corsa, which is my first car, but I was just driving and tired. Lucky enough for me, I got headhunted by my boss, who used to be a boss at Sybase, and then went to TransUnion. And then he called me and said, do you want to work for TransUnion? And then I said, yes, I want to work for TransUnion. And that's when I jumped ship and went to credit bureau. So TransUnion was a credit bureau, and the office as well was nice. I mean, the entrance, and you want all these lights, the boardrooms, you know, everything was just nice compared to Harmony Gold Mine. And then I worked there for 2.5 years. I got to understand customers, got to understand credit bureau, I got to understand profiles, I got to understand so many things to do with a person, their salaries, how they spend their money, credit record and credit profiling, credit records, and I got to understand all of that. And I am grateful for TransUnion, because at Harmony Gold Mine I felt like I didn't get anything. 3 years, I think, no, not even 3 years, 2 years into credit bureau, I then decided, you know what, I want more money. You see, money when it comes to IT, you just job hop when you start working in IT, because then you'll get to a point where you do not job hop anymore. So I decided to look for a job, and guess what, I found another job at Momentum. From credit bureau now to insurance, now to yes, they were selling insurance, different types of insurances, and I just went to Momentum. Now, Momentum was even more beautiful. This is the one in Centurion, closer to Gauteng. Sorry, guys, closer to Gauteng station. And then I worked there for 3 years, and it was nice at Momentum. But then as well, because I was using the same software, SQL Server, the one that I've learned at TransUnion, I felt like, you know what, it's time for me to move again. Remember, in IT, and around that time, I think I was around 20 to 25,000 rand in salary. And then I moved and went to Standard Bank. Now, Standard Bank, I made a decision that it is a big company. I can move different departments. I can go to different countries. I can go to different provinces if I want to change careers. And there's just so many different divisions at Standard Bank where you can just learn as much as you can. And it is a company that really teach their people. They want you to learn. And then I worked there for 11 years, guys. I stayed there. I was like, you know what? I am married to Standard Bank. I am, even my veins, even the blood, it is blue. I stayed there for 11 years. I worked under a guy called Tyrell. I am saying his name because he was the best boss ever in this whole world. So he was the best. He wanted the best for us, and we were a group of black people, and I think one Indian, if I'm not mistaken. And he just made it a point that we grow. He just made it a point that our salaries were growing as well. He just made it a point that whatever happens, we were getting the best more than him. And because of his contribution to our lives, and thank you, Tyrell, you are the best, and you still are the best. You are one of the bosses that people should hire, people should have in their companies, just to get the name and the surname. Is Tyrell Chivokont. Okay, let me not say the surname, but then if you want to know his name, that is if you want to hire him as a boss, because he is the best boss, you can contact me. And then I worked under a Tyrell. We learned so much and learned, and then moved to another department. And that's where I also learned, and then moved to another department. And then in that department, it was credit risk. And now that's where the problem started, guys. When I talk about being fulfilled, when I talk about loving your job, when I talk about staying and not being a tree that is planted and you have to move, I'm talking about this department. And it wasn't even Standard Bank the problem. It wasn't even the department itself. It was just few people in that department. You know, those ones who are working there and not resigning because they were there from when Standard Bank was 11 years old, and then they were there. So guys, these people made our lives a living nightmare. And maybe I can talk for myself, but then few people left that department. And if HR were to go and check the reasons why we are leaving a person, not the company. And then the question would be, why didn't I look for a job outside? I just thought, you know what? I've been working here for a long time. 20 years is more than enough for me to be in IT. I needed something differently. This is the time when I started getting depressed, because I would work at night. I would work sometimes at night and try to go back to sleep, and I couldn't get back to sleep. And then I would go to work the following day. Thanks to COVID, at some point we were working from home. So you would even sleep during the day, even when you were not maybe allowed to sleep. Maybe you were supposed to work, but you would try and catch up on some sleep. Got to a point where I was just getting depressed every year, guys. Like, I would go to Vista Clinic and my psychologist would ask, and I would say, I do not want to work anymore. And then she would say, but then you can look for another job. Then I would say, it is the same thing. Different departments, different companies, but then it is the same thing, guys. It is the same thing, guys. Same data. Salary might move by 2%, or maybe if you're lucky, sometimes you're not even lucky, you wouldn't even get a raise. Bonuses would move, but then inflation would move way high, and then you constantly have to chase the inflation. You constantly have to chase surviving every single month, and most of our hours are spent going to work. And I kept on saying that to my boss. First year, I'll say that. Second year, I've been to my psychologist for like 5 years every year, doing the same thing and saying the same thing. I do not want to work. And now, having to communicate with my husband and saying, husband, Mina, I cannot do this anymore. He kept on saying, if you want to leave work with all the things that we owe, you need to find something to supplement the salary, because I cannot do it on my own. He was just honest, guys. I mean, he married someone who was working and he was used to getting 2 salaries, and now I'm saying I'm not working. Guys in these days, they're not gonna say leave your work. They would say find something to replace that salary. Few guys would say leave your work, but most guys these days, they don't do that. So my husband said the same thing. He will not afford to pay for all these things that we have done, and also the debt that we're in. And some of the debts I contributed, guys. I mean, joining these crypto projects like your Mining City, like your FOREX, I got myself into debt. And he was like, there's no way I'm paying your debt. You have to find a way and start doing something. My psychologist as well said the same thing. You're not a tree. You can move to another company, or you can find something else that you can do. And then I started thinking, guys, what is it that I can do? Something that I can do at home, something that that allows me to spend more time with my family, something that allows me to work from home, something that will allow me to connect globally with people, something that will allow me to continue helping people, to continue sharing the gospel. And I started my YouTube channel. And that time, I wasn't confident, guys. I knew that my English wasn't that good, and obviously I had to communicate more. I had to show my face, but I just started uploading, guys. I even remember my first video. I was just so bad. This is in crypto, guys, and I capitalized on the fact that I was technical. I knew IT, and I could understand technical things better. And I started learning crypto, guys. I started installing my first wallet, which was Trust Wallet. I started joining these projects, which were not good projects. I didn't even know how to check these projects, but now I am better, guys. I am able to check these projects, guys. And then I started learning. I started joining these projects. I started making money. Then I wasn't making money because I wasn't on network marketing. That's where the most money is, guys. And I started recording, and I realized, okay, I can even get paid from this. I started becoming serious. I started getting paid. I remember my first income from YouTube was 3,700. And I was happy thinking, yo, I am rich. But then it works with consistency. You have to upload, and then created a second YouTube channel. And this one is because I wasn't able to voice out my issues with crypto channel, because it was all about finance and cryptocurrencies. Then I decided to start my personal YouTube, which is this YouTube, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my crypto channel, guys, please go subscribe there. Even if you're not going to do crypto, it is important to learn this language, these terminologies, because, guys, the world is using crypto now. Whether you want it or you do not want it, the world is going that route. You do need to know. I mean, we are buying groceries now with our Bitcoin card. So, guys, you can learn crypto, guys. You can learn crypto if you want. Then I started doing crypto businesses, and then the year when I was just so fed up with my boss, I decided, let me just take crypto serious. I started inviting people. Mind you, please do note that people have been scammed. When you tell them about crypto projects, they do not want to listen. But then I started saying, you know what, it is a risk, but do take this risk. And then eventually I started resigning. I resigned June. I actually resigned March, and June I was serving my notice. And thanks God, my life was operating with faith. And I remember talking to a friend who also resigned, and not in IT. She's that those people who work with cardio, where they do I forgot that profession, where they work with bones, and then they will make you exercise if you are in hospital. Yeah, that one. Physio, yes, physio. She's a physio, and then she said she's also going to resign. And then I said, yes, I hear your plan is well, but my plan has faith in it. I do not have the money. I'm not yet ready to resign, but I am resigning because now God has confirmed to me that He will take care of me, and I trust that God will take care of me, and God is taking care of me, guys. So wait for part 3, where I will talk about me living with faith, living on faith, living trusting God, and how is God taking care of me. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and yeah, guys, I am living on faith.